This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
Hey, this is Chef Justin Sutherland, and you're listening to Shawn on the Coarse Grind Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a super special express episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast, number 133. With you as always this evening, host creator Shawn Rosler. How's everyone doing? In the interest of time, we're going to spare you our typical drawn-out intro in favor of getting our guest on the mic ASAP, and what an absolute honor it is to do so. The high-level overview: this powerhouse dynamo of a chef testant kicked ass, took names on the most recent season of Top Chef All-Stars LA. She was beyond a shadow of a doubt the most steady presence I've ever seen, and 17 plus seasons in, that's saying something. So much so that her victory was honestly one of the most anticlimactic reveals ever, because we just kind of knew. So the best possible way in the anticlimactic column. If you watch Top Chef and the Tulsa rally didn't render you brain dead, it easily could have. You know I'm talking about none other than the Chef Melissa King. Chef, it is an absolute honor to have you here on the show. How are you doing this evening?
Thank you. I'm doing really well.
Awesome.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, really? You're not busy at all, are you? It's so awesome. I have to
throw my phone against the wall because it just keeps blowing up.
Exactly. I have to tell you, I mean, I know we were talking about my kids being fans, you know, I'm a fan. You are just such an incredible figure. Take the Top Chef out of it. You're just such an awesome figure with everything you stand for, everything you represent. And it's just, again, such a cool honor to have you on the show with us tonight. So again, thank you. I know time's tight. I want to be mindful of that. For folks who are new to the show, folks who have been listening and have terrible short-term memories like myself, we have starters, mains, and afters, different groups of questions. Starters, we're going to talk about where the chef came from. Mains, we're going to talk about where they're at, what they're doing. And finally, afters, a little bit more irreverent, a little bit more off the cuff, but no one's been physically injured in 132 episodes, so I don't see that happening this evening. So without further ado, and I know both in season 12 we touched on it, and in this season we touched on it, but Melissa, can you share with us where and what you grew up eating?
Okay. I grew up in LA, specifically Hacienda Heights and the San Gabriel Valley, so East LA. I grew up eating a lot of just comfort Cantonese food and Shanghainese food, things that my mom would make.
Awesome.
Do you want like specifics?
Yeah. I'd love specifics.
Yeah, you know, like congee and like Chinese bone broths made of chicken and ginseng, a lot of dumplings, noodles, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and again, for folks who saw the season, for folks who know you from season 12, clearly that inspiration is omnipresent. When we talk about inspirations, then who kind of struck you as the most significant culinary influence in your upbringing?
Who stuck to me as what? Sorry.
I'm sorry. The most the most culinary impactful person in your upbringing.
Oh, in my upbringing, certainly my mother. I think my mom was so supportive throughout my life with cooking. Of course, she didn't know I would pursue it as for a living, but I think just even as a child, she really nurtured it as a hobby and really, you know, supported that dream. So, and she was a big influence just, you know, in the kitchen, because I got in the kitchen with her since I was like 5 or 6 years old. I would stand on a stool and stir fry vegetables in a wok, standing next to her. So she really was that person that helped solidify that foundation of Chinese cooking for me.
And that's so awesome. I mean, the kitchen truly is that kind of family gathering space. You know, my boys are in there, you know, you were in there, I was there growing up. It's just such a cool central place. But I mean, so you have this as part of your upbringing, but when was the moment that the leap was made, that it was just like, hey, I like cooking with my family, turned into, I really want to do this for a living, for my life, for my life's passion?
Yeah, it kind of flipped on right when I got my first job at the Getty Museum, actually. That was my first kitchen job when I was 17, and I was kind of trying to figure out, do I want to go to culinary school? I had, deep down I had wanted to go straight out of high school, but my family encouraged me to go get my undergrad and go to college, but I wanted to just live and breathe cooking just for a little bit in a real life situation. So I picked up a job at the Getty and just completely fell in love with it, and didn't really look back after I graduated college. I went straight to culinary school.
That's so awesome. And
kept going.
Yeah. And what was it that spoke to you so deeply, so purely, so truly?
What spoke to me?
Yeah.
It's real. I think it was the camaraderie in a kitchen, and just there's just so much love, and the kitchen becomes your family. The people that you see them every day, you see them more than you see your family at home.
For sure.
And I love the energy of the excitement of a kitchen. So I think that was what really drew to me most. And also being able to just be so free. I felt like the corporate environment doesn't really mesh with my personality. I kind of like to just be very open and honest with who I am. And I felt I could do that in a kitchen. So I just felt very drawn to it from the beginning.
For sure. And so from the beginning, 17 at the Getty Museum to, once you get past a certain age, we don't cite our age, but the winner of Top Chef, how does that feel to say? Have you gotten used to it yet, or is it still new?
Sorry, it broke up a bit.
I'm sorry.
To...
Yeah. I mean, are you used to it yet? Has it sunk in that you won Top Chef?
I mean, it's starting to. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, my cell phone just is nonstop, and but it's very exciting for me to finally be able to celebrate this moment, because this has been a secret that I've been carrying for 7 months.
Yep.
So yeah, it's very nice to be able to talk freely now.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah. And see, folks on the other side of the curtain don't realize, and I'm just 5 years in, I'm now finally getting some glimmers behind the curtain. I'm like, wait a minute, that happened 7 months ago and you had to stay quiet about that? That's a long time.
It's not easy.
No, I'm sure.
And that's
sure.
for all of us, you know?
Yeah,
we all have to just act as if it never happened.
Oh, that's got to be hard.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Getty Museum at 17, here you are winning Top Chef. And, I mean, ChefMelissaKing.com, for folks, interested in checking out, more about Chef, she really has everything humanly possible going on right now, from merchandise to virtual cooking classes, which those are kind of the, current and vogue, almost out of necessity. But you can bet that if you have somebody who won Top Chef giving you a virtual cooking class, you're going to get something out of it. So be sure to check out her site out on ChefMelissaKing.com. Chef, I want to ask you, now with Top Chef, quote, out of the way, it's not really out of the way, but out of the way, you're going to get back to some business as usual. Culinarily, where do you draw your inspiration from? Where is it that Chef Melissa King goes to create and invent new and innovative dishes?
I mean, I think a lot of my inspiration just comes from wanting to feed people, and I've always been that way since I was a kid. It's why I love to host dinner parties and why I like to cook when I was young. So, being in quarantine, I kept thinking, I can't cook for people in real life. How can I continue to bring food to you guys? Yeah. And so that's where, the inspiration to my small batch sauce line came from, and these virtual cooking experiences. So I think continuing to do that and funnel that energy into ways that I can continue to put my food out there is what I plan to do.
Absolutely.
Whether it's through cookbooks and so many opportunities.
And on top of that, you have this cool merchandise out in your site, and you were telling me that benefits Pride. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Sure. Yeah, I created a Pride line of hats, and they say King and Queen, and they have little rainbow embroiders on the side. And $5 of every of every purchase will go towards supporting the Trevor Project, which is a nationwide organization that provides suicide prevention support and crisis support for LGBTQ youth. So it's something I find very important to support, especially now that it's Pride Month.
Absolutely. And I mean, important any month, but this month in particular. So, that's definitely out there for everyone to check out, everyone to consume. Career-wise, now that you've got the big W under your belt, what's next? What does Melissa King's 5-year plan look like right now?
I would like to come out with a cookbook, or two, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then, I'd like to actually focus some of the winnings towards, ramping up the sauce production and really bringing that on a larger scale and hopefully getting into retail, and then possibly more television opportunities. I would love to be a host of a show and travel around the world and eat and talk about it.
Nice.
Especially Asian cuisine and discovering parts of my own culture and the flavors that are there. That's
awesome. Well, hey, listen, if you're ever interested in a co-host gig, I've got a seat that is permanently reserved for you. I just want you to know that.
I love it.
It's here.
Thank you.
It's ready for you. And of course,
let's do it. Yeah.
Let's go. It's the Shawn and Melissa and Shawn show. I'm going to give you top billing on that because, you've got the Top Chef win, not me. Cool. Let's jump into afters then. Again, keeping an eye on the clock. I want to ask some of the fun questions that people might not know, about you. I am standing in your kitchen. Imagine it, if you will. What music am I listening to?
In my kitchen, when I cook, I'm often listening to just stuff that makes me want to dance, and it's often, I'm a child of the 80s, so I love like good 80s, 90s hip hop, Madonna, Stevie Wonder.
Nice.
I like the classics, Elton John. So like anything that just makes me feel really happy and in a good mood.
Nice. Yeah. And 90s hip hop, I always drop this. Anytime anyone mentions that, I have to mention the Pandora.
Did you see our Boys to Men video that I made with Steph and Brian? It's
listen.
all over the internet. Go to any of our Instagrams. Go to Padma's Instagram. It's on there.
It was
we love the 90s.
So good. So good. I sat back, I watched that. I'm like, oh my God, that was the best thing I'll see all day. So for sure. Yeah, go out, check out Brian, check out Steph's, check out Melissa's Instas, and it is one of the best videos you'll ever see in your life. True story. And I'm not biased. So there you go. But if you're ever listening to Pandora in your kitchen, you got to check out Hip Hop Barbecue Station, the best 90s hip hop channel ever. It'll keep you hooked up for good, for sure. All right, next after question. You're going to be stranded on a deserted island, total hypothetical, of course, and you can only take 3 foods or food type items with you. Inexhaustible supplies through the magic of imagination, but only 3. What would they be and why?
Only 3 food items? Is that what you said?
3 foods or food items. Yep.
3 foods or food items. Let's see here. I think... What would I bring? No one's ever asked me this before.
Yes.
I guess I need something to light a fire with and to catch fish with. I love foraging and all that sort of stuff and fishing. So I would bring some sort of equipment to be able to hunt
nice.
With. I need a sharp knife, but I think I could probably be okay with those things and just hunt whatever's on the island.
That is
and take care of myself. I have a whole butchery background, I think I'll be fine. If we do Survivor and Top Chef together, I think I could hold my own.
Yo, NBC Universal, are you listening? Right there's your and Melissa can be your host. There it is. We did it. We did it right here. Top Chef Survivor.
I really can't hear you at this point anymore.
Hello? I'm sorry.
It's definitely breaking up.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Top Chef Survivor. I think that's going to be the next great idea.
Right?
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Oh my God, that's great. Hey, have you ever had the chance to check out My Last Supper by Melanie Denea?
Have I had a chance to check out your last summer? What?
I'm sorry.
I really can't hear you.
That's okay.
Very well.
It's a book by Melanie Denea called My Last Supper, and it's a photography book,
not.
and all 50 chefs in it are, notable to their own regard, and they're all asked the same questions, and it's all centered around the famous late night chef game of your ticket's getting punched tomorrow. What would your last meal be and why? And so I ask you, Chef Melissa King, what would your last meal be?
What would my last meal be? It's got to be something simple, just like perfectly ripe tomatoes with a little bit of sea salt and really high quality olive oil and some crusty bread, maybe a whole grilled fish. Just really, really simple, but like high quality ingredients, I think is what I would focus on for my last meal.
I love it.
And some rice. I need steamed rice. I can't live without rice.
I love it. And what would your beverage of choice be for the last meal?
I'm not much of a drinker. I feel like maybe like tea or something really basic.
No, I love it. That's so cool.
I'm a tea and a water drinker, and a sparkly water drinker.
Fantastic. And Chef, the last question, the simplest but the most complex. What is food to you in a single word?
Food is love.
Love it. And that just speaks volumes. And it was so clear to see in everything you did this season. Love it is.
Thank
folks.
you.
I can't express what an honor this is to have the Chef Melissa King, the winner of Top Chef All-Stars Season 17, here with us. You can check more about her out at chefmelissaking.com. Check her out on Twitter and the Insta at Chef Melissa King. And be sure to check out Bravo On Demand for replays and rewatches, which I'm currently doing right now, because why would you not, of Top Chef All-Stars Season 17. Again, Melissa, I cannot thank you enough for being here with us this evening.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 133 of the Coarse Grind Podcast with the Chef Melissa King. Our producer, as always, has been Johnny Leland Robinson. Check out his Cinematic Pig's Feet podcast. And our next episode will be number 134. Stay tuned. Are you passing through Central Pennsylvania and looking for one of the best dining experiences and craft brew menus around? Look no further. Turkey Hill Brewing Company and 991 Central Road in Bloomsburg, PA has everything you could ask for and then some. Service, food, beer together. Unbelievable. Be sure to check them out. Call them today for reservations. 570-387-8422. Call today.